Students, we are discussing today user-defined methods in Java, which will be very helpful for the students of class 10, 11 and class 12. Let's start. What is user-defined methods? User-defined methods is a collection of statements that perform some specific task and return the result to the call. This is the basic definition of a method. But what is actually method? Method is actually a piece of code, a small piece of code which is completely full of syntax and logic to perform one single task in the program for many input sets to perform many times. That means one method segment will be used for many times. That means it will save our time. Let's see. Every method must be a part of some class. As we know that in object-oriented programming Java, class is very important part. So the method should be included. This method should be included in the class. Now, methods are time savers and help us to reuse the code. Time savers means which saves our time. That means once we have created one method, that method can be reused by using that particular method many times. That means we don't need to write so many codes for so many times. We need to write one code for one time and use them for many times. So it is automatically saving our time. So let's discuss this, and it will be more clear to you if we take some real life example. So let's get started. Real life examples means, see here you can see some ingredients lists are given. So these are different ingredients: dough, sauce, cheese, olives, capsicum. These are basically used for making pizza. Meat, spices, butter, tomato, capsicum. These are specially used for making kebabs. Now pizza. Pizza can be made by putting the ingredients properly into the pizza oven. Now meat, spices, butter, tomato, capsicum can make a delicious kebab by putting the mixture into the proper grill oven. Now the third one is egg, flour, sugar, cream, cherry, baking powder, and this can make a delicious sweet cake. And this delicious sweet cake can be made with the help of cake baking oven. Now you see this three types of ingredients are used in three different ovens to get three different dishes. Now for three different dishes we need to buy pizza oven, grill oven, cake baking oven. So it is a costly for us. If we buy three ovens, it will be space consuming as well as cost consuming. So if we want to reduce the cost, we can go for another option. So what is that? Let's see. See, this same ingredients, if we put them in the microwave oven, then we can get the three different delicious tasty dishes from microwave oven. That means here these three ingredients are the important input parameters to the microwave oven. This microwave oven is used for so many purposes. That means instead of buying and using three different ovens, we are using this microwave oven for so many purposes. It is not only that only three dishes can be made. So many dishes can be made. I have given only three examples. That means only microwave oven can help us to make so many dishes with different ingredients. Instead of buying different ovens, we can buy only one microwave oven to make it easier for us. Now, for the other real life examples, all-in-one shopping app, all-in-one banking app, these are the examples. All-in-one shopping app means in one application many other shopping application is included. That means instead of downloading different shopping application, we can save our time and memory by installing only one shopping app. Like that, one and only banking app. Instead of downloading and installing different banks application, we can install any one application for all banks so that we can use them. This will cause less space consuming, less time consuming also. So these all types of examples, real life examples, can be considered as method creation. Now, after getting the real life examples, we need to know what is actually method and how to write it in Java application. So let's see. Defining a method. Defining a method means how to write a method in a proper structural way. That means there should be a logic in the program, there should be a syntax in the program. So we will discuss on that now. Defining method does not have any similarity with the definition of method. Definition of method means what is method, how does it work, but defining a method means how to write a method. So how to write a method? Complete structure of method with syntax and logical code is considered as method definition. Now here the first line is called method header. Here modifier, return type, see the modifier, return type, method name, parameter list, these all together in one line is called method header. Now the next part is coming, which is known as the body of the method. So this body of the method consists of some statements which will provide us the code for performing the task and the return value. Here we can see the return value. Return value means which will return the outcome of the program. Here we are mentioning the return type and here we are returning the value. Return type means the data type of the returning value. It is not mandatory that all the methods will return value. But in some programs where we can use the void return type, no return value is required. Any return type except void can be returned a value. Now, next we will consider and discuss all these components of method definition. So let's start. Components of method we discussed. Now again we will discuss in detail. Modifier. Modifier defines the access type of method, that is from where it will be accessed. That means as we know that Java is basically an object oriented programming, class is a very important part of this programming. So here the modifier will tell us from where or which part the method can be accessed. In the Java there are 4 major types of access specifiers. Here we have mentioned 3: public, protected and private, and the last but not the least, which is not mentioned over here, that is default. Default is the 4th kind. When these 3 are not used, when these 3 are not mentioned, then default is used. Next part is the return type. As we told you that what value as an outcome will be returned, the data type of that value is called return type. Now method name, name of the method. Name of the method means, what is the name of the method? That means oven, name of the oven is there, so name of the method is there. So name of the method should not start with any number. It always should start with alphabet, and it should not contain any space or dot, but it can have underscore as separator. Next is parameter list. Parameter list is very important. Here the ingredients of making pizza, cake and kebab can be considered as the input parameters. So input parameters with their data types are called parameter lists. Method body, where the logical part will be mentioned with the statements with proper syntax to do the proper task. Next, last but not the least, return statement. That means the outcome which will be returned after the method definition. So this is called return statement, and all these are components of one single method. Now we will proceed to the example. So let's see. This is a complete method with the proper example. Return type, see, public is the modifier here. Return type integer, method name max as it is finding out the maximum among two numbers, and parameter list. Here integer x, int x and int y are the parameters, and this is included in the parenthesis, in the first bracket parenthesis. This is parameter list. Now if x greater than y, then x will be the maximum, so it will return as outcome x, else it will return as outcome y as it is maximum here. And this is the body part, and this highlighted portion, is called the header of the program. So the complete structure of the program method is this, and this method can be called from the main method after proper definition. So here we are discussing the components. Now next part, methods needs to be called or invoked for using its functionality. That means once the method is created, it must be invoked by some other caller program. So calling or invoking means using the method in a program. That means when we are using a method in a program, then we can call it invoking or calling of a program. Let's illustrate this calling or invoking of method with the Java example. Now here we are writing a Java program. A program to add two numbers. Here we are using the program for two different set of inputs. So that means we can show you that how to create one method and use them for different purposes with different values. Now here it is the class we have created. Now add two numbers, int add two numbers. Int is the return type, add two numbers is the function name, and this is the parameter list. And these are the parameters. These are actually the formal parameters. Note down the name formal parameters. We will come on that later. Now int c. C is the local variable where we are storing the addition result of a and b. And the c is also integer type. Now return c. What type of data is c? Integer type. And returned value is integer type. We have given the return type integer. So this is the whole function definition or method definition. Now public static void main string args name num1 ab num2 sum1 sum2. So the set of integer values we have taken. So here first set of numbers we have taken as input, and now we will create our first object. So this is the first object obj1 we have created. After that we will call, that means we will invoke the method. So here someone is invoking and storing the result of returned value by the add two numbers, where the parameters are passed num1 and num2. Here this num1 and num2 are the actual parameters. So here these are formal parameters and these are actual parameters, and this is the line where we are invoking a method. Formal parameters, actual parameters will be discussed later. Just know the name right now. Next, same thing for another set of values a and b, and here also we have created second object, and then we have called with the second set of parameters. These are also actual parameters. So this is the example of method creation and method definition and invoking of method in total. Now we will go for the types of parameters. Now we have little bit discussed about actual parameters and formal parameters. Now we will discuss actual parameter and formal parameter in detail. So what are the formal parameters? Formal parameters are the parameters which are described in the function definition part. That means int a and int b was the int x and int y was the parameter which are formal parameters, and actual parameters were num1, num2, a, b, which were declared or which were passed while calling of the method. That means which parameters we are sending to the method definition are formal parameters, and which we are using in the caller part, those are actual parameters. So the actual parameters values are copied to the formal parameters for the further process of the method. Now see, for the same function, here int a and int b are the formal parameters, and num1, num2 are the actual parameters. So these actual parameters are very important. Actual parameters are carrying the actual value as input, and these values are copied to the formal parameters. Now formal parameters and actual parameters we have done. Now we have two calling or invoking techniques in Java: call by value, call by reference. Call by value. Call by value is copy the actual parameters and passed the copy of actual parameters to the formal parameter. Okay. Now here we will see the example. In this example we will see that the copy of actual parameters are passed to the formal parameter, and any change in the formal parameter is not reflecting to the actual parameter. So how we will see that? We see that the class test is the class where method is taking two parameters int I and j, and they are changed here by these functions, one multiplication by 2 and division by 2. Now this will be printed within the method, and here we are seeing that the main function. In the main function we have seen that a and b is initialized with 150 and 200. Now the value of a and b after and before call. Before call a and b, method has been called here, and after call a and b is printed. Now from the output we will see what is actually happening. See the output. Here value of a and b before call was 150 and 200. We know that we have initialized with 150 and 200. Value of a and b method after performing action. So that means this line is getting printed. That means within the function what is there, it is being printed because we have called the function. But after the call there is no change in the a and b, because it is as it is. A is 150, B is 200. That means after and before call, there is no change in the actual parameter. Whatever changes has been done within the method to the formal parameter, it has been happened. Now the call by value is done here. So call by value means copy of actual parameter are passed to the formal parameters, and any change in the formal parameter will not reflect on the actual parameter. Let's go to the call by reference. Call by reference will not deal with any value. It will deal with reference or address passed to the formal parameters. Here we will see the example. Here we will see that a method is having as a parameter the object. Test O is the object passed, and the object is having two variables. These two variables within the object O is getting changed by multiplying by 2 and division by 2. And in the main function, as usual, as before, we have initialized A and B with 150 and 200. Now we will see before the call and calling the function after the call. Let's see the output. See, before the call, the output was 150 and 200. After the call, the value has been changed 300, 100. That means the calling function is changing the reference, that means the object reference of the A and B, and this change is reflecting on the actual parameter we are passing here as the object. These are the actual parameters 150 and 200, and this object is getting passed here. That means the object reference is passed to this, and any change here has been done, change here, that is reflecting on A and B, as we can see here. So this is our call by reference method, and we learned the two techniques of calling a method: call by value and call by reference. Some practice questions. Define method. What do you mean by function definition? Discuss the components of method definition. Write the differences of formal parameter and actual parameter. Call by value and call by reference. Write a Java program to check whether any number is even or odd by creating user-defined methods. These are the practice questions you can learn. So many other questions are there. We will come with those questions later on next session. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope you will learn properly and practice properly. Thank you.